So Kotaku is that one lady is trying, another cancel attempt. Like it's just, bro, it's been a lot. So there's been a narrative that's been being pushed recently that I have made a shift to being alt-right. Now, the reason why this narrative has been put out there is because I disagreed with banning the Sweet Baby Inc. Steam creator group. I'm alt-right. I have a lot of the alt-right viewpoints of separating church and state. I totally support abortion with pretty much literally no guidelines. I'm for universal basic income. I was a big supporter of Obama. I mean, I tried to campaign and raise money and actually work for Greenpeace and support Planned Parenthood, like advocate for same-sex marriage. Like, I stood on this, like, I went and I applied to be part of this, like, for myself in 2009, when this shit was not popular. Even then, I was doing it, but I'm alt-right. Because I think that performative, fucking diversity in these games by closet racists that are afraid of being found out is bad. Here's my opinion. If Alyssa wants to find out what I think, she can DM me. My DMs are open. And this is some weird thing how she said that she got a tattoo that says all men are enemies. I'll tell you something. Nobody with a sound mind gets a tattoo that says all men are enemies. I feel bad for her. I really do. I feel bad for a lot of these people. I mean, you got to understand, like, there's something wrong with them. Probably something happened to them in their personal life that we don't know about that fucked up their head. There's something wrong that we don't know about. And I feel bad for her, and I hope she figures it out. And if she wants to, talk about the things that I say, go ahead, right? I mean, that's her freedom of speech. I totally support freedom of speech in any capacity, even the capacities that I disagree with. In fact, I support it in the capacities that I disagree with the most. So I have no problem with that. But if she wants to actually hear about what I actually think, then she's free to DM me and unblock me and DM me. Or not. Just fucking make shit up if you want. It doesn't matter to me. Who gives a fuck? But yeah, people always like to come up with this kind of shit because I try to think for myself. I do as much as I can, and people hate that. I do. I try to come up to conclusions on my own, and I think about it. I don't think about what do people think. I think about what do I think. And sometimes they disagree with that. Sometimes they don't like to hear what I think. And that's okay. I try to come to my own conclusions. It doesn't matter what articles people write about me. Who gives a fuck? You think people are going to stop watching the stream because they read an article? She'd rather create your narrative, which won't be true, to the people that don't like you, and they'll believe it because they've never seen your content and they can't think for themselves. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I mean, people love to cry and get mad about that shit all the time. But at the end of the day, one thing that you can always tell is, like, the Asmongold is always wrong. It's like, is this a bad take or whatever? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's been so many times I can't even think of one of them. For sure. But yeah, why acknowledge it then? I think it's good content, and I think a lot of people, the reason why I acknowledge this kind of stuff is that I think that people need to see that the traditional mainstream gatekeepers of media and technology and communication are no longer powerful. They no longer have any sort of influence. They can't control anything. They've completely lost control. Their opinions, their feelings, their thoughts, their words all mean nothing. And they're like NPCs. And so the reason why I talk about it is because I want to encourage and empower people to realize that they can think for themselves. They can have their own opinions about things. They don't need to be afraid of what some random person on Twitter might think or say about them. At the end of the day, most people in your life are effectively NPCs, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can actually start enjoying your life, rather than trying to live it in the context of another person's opinion who doesn't even care about you. And so that's why I talk about it a lot. And of course, obviously, it's somebody who's trying to talk about me. Of course, I'm going to have an opinion about it. Like, fucking course. What do you expect? But at the end of the day, if she's unhappy with things that I say, then I think that she can reach out to me directly. I have no problem, having a conversation with her. It's not a big deal. I don't hate her. I think, honestly, like, If I talked to her, I think she would probably be surprised that, you know, like, I don't know if she's seen clips of me, if she's actually watched videos, but most people that actually, like, have a conversation with each other realize that they're not that different. So, yeah, I really don't think it's a big deal. I try not to make enemies, man. I don't need to make enemies with people. It's not a big deal. If I have a disagreement with things, a disagreement with a person, like, I don't really take that personally. Like, that fighting cowboy thing, like, the other day. Like, it's not a, like, you think I give a fuck about that? Like, that's nothing. Who cares? It's just a fucking video game. People get too in their feelings about everything, and they end up ruining their life over it. It's sad. Does not affect you because you have escape velocity, or are they really powerless? They're really powerless. So basically, the reason why people are powerless is because there's nothing that... So, like, what can a person do? The only way you can truly get canceled, there are two ways you can get canceled for real. Like, we meme it all the time with, like, titles. Asmongold is canceled. My response to getting canceled. Asmongold canceled again. They tried to cancel Asmongold. And by the way, I want to make one thing very clear. If these people could push a button and delete my life, they would do it. If they could cancel me, they would. If they could just, like, push a button and ban my Twitch channel, ban my YouTube channel, they would do it. So just keep that in mind. The reason why, like, they haven't done that is not because they're not trying to do it. It's because they can't. So that's the main reason. Democratically cancel you. So the way that people get canceled, there's two ways you get canceled. Number one is if you get deplatformed. If you get deplatformed, you lose your audience, you lose everything, you're gone. You can't make money, you have nowhere to do anything, like, that's it. Sponsorship, you always get more sponsors. There's always going to be a sponsor that's going to take you. There are sponsors on 4chan. There are sponsors on Poll. Okay? Like, there's always going to be sponsors. Now, it might be fleshlights for anime girls, but you are getting a paycheck. And so that's all that matters. And so there's basically that. Nice ponytail. So, can you run out of platforms? Ask Alex Jones. So, either way, like, that's number one. And then this is the second way that a person gets canceled. What's the shift? The shift is whenever I started disagreeing with them. That was the problem. And so, cancel for the real world for something like expose a crime or a serious one? Probably. Nah, you don't get canceled for committing crimes. Bro, Chris Brown beat the fuck out of Rihanna. I listened to him on the radio a year ago. How the fuck do you beat the shit out of Rihanna and you're still on the radio? Nobody gives a fuck about a crime. Who cares? The problem is whenever a person breaks their online persona. So, like, for example, if they go and it's like you hear that somebody is like a like, this is like George Not Found. This is why he got canceled from, like, putting his arm around that girl. The reason why he got canceled for that is because he put out a persona as this hyper safe, super PC content creator, good boy that never does anything wrong, and every mentally ill 13-year-old girl can watch him and feel safe. So, like, if you create that personality for yourself and you put that type of content out there, and then guess what? It turns out that you do anything that's even problematic in the slightest, suddenly now you're fucking canceled. So if your community, if you contradict people's perception of you, can be canceled. Does that make sense? What the hell's happening with that idiot? I don't know. Who gives a fuck? But that's just my opinion. Self-inflicted. Yeah, that's what it is. Some creators want to be kid-friendly for the views, to be fair. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Rip Bozo. That's the way it goes. Why do you want to engage with people who are so unhinged they want to attack you because you have a different opinion? Because I view everything that I do on the internet as content and entertainment, and I don't even view this as myself. I'm just a character of a video game, basically. And so, like, if I do this, anything negative that people say about me or anything like that, I just pretty much don't give a fuck about it because it's not really me. And even if it is, who cares? And so, yeah, it's just a show. So if people are going to get upset about the show, then fuck them. I think that if more people had that viewpoint, they would be happy. Disassociation is wild? Yeah, it is, and it's also healthy. I wish more people had the mindset. It'd be better for them. Too many people get too emotionally invested in the opinions of people that they can't control and ultimately don't even care about in the first place. It's extremely unhealthy. I've done it myself. That's how I know. And I see other streamers do it constantly. I feel really bad for them.